So this is all one big paradox. And the reason that you're still feeling stuck in your situation is because you're resisting the present moment. You're saying it's not enough, you need more, and you're trying to figure it out. And you're worried about what may or may not happen in the future, which doesn't exist. Where are you going? Where are you trying to get to? Because you can't escape the now. You're always here. The only way you can escape the present moment is through the mind, and the mind is just a projection. You're always here. Right now, you're here. How will you even know when you are in a future moment? It's because you will be here now, experiencing that future moment here, now, not in the mind, unless you choose to go into the mind and live from that conceptual reality. In which case, you will be constantly ping-ponging back and forth in your mind, going back and forth between past and future, living from memory, living from projection, living from the made-up conceptual reality in the mind, essentially also limiting the unfolding because the mind can only imagine where it's been, and it's rooted in conditioning. It's rooted in your past memories. It's playing off of your fears and insecurities, is it not? What kind of reality do you think this present moment is creating for the future version of you if you are living from fear, worry, or insecurity? Because there's a lag in 3D. So what you are being now is what you will see in your 3D reality. And sometimes the lag is very short because you're already a resonant match for something and you've had a moment where you've dropped resistance and things fly into your experience like that. But as a general rule in this 3D reality, which you agreed to play, there is a lag. There is a little bit of a delay. Thank God, because if everything you were thinking manifested like that, you would be in a world of shit probably right now with some of the thoughts that are lingering in your mind that you keep ruminating on or focusing your awareness on, which is your point of power. The light of your consciousness is one big magnifier. If you think of your awareness and your consciousness as a magnifier, what are you magnifying right now in this present moment? How many more present moments are you going to waste magnifying lack, scarcity, and what you don't want when you already know that the external reality is a reflection of your inner world, what you are conscious of being? So if the external reality, which is all the things that you're seeing outside of yourself that you are having issue with or trying to fix or trying to figure out or trying to change or manipulate in some way, even though you are on an ascension journey, which means it is even more important for you to be able to embody what you know to be true, right? Like ignorance is kind of bliss on this journey because once you know too much, you can't put the genie back in the bottle and pretend that you don't. You actually have to start walking the talk, embodying the truth that you already know to be true. So, one of the first laws that, we are governed by these laws, like we're governed by gravity, we're governed by spiritual laws, some of the highest spiritual laws to work with that are the most fun that I started to work with early on in my journey was the law of one and the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence, law of reflection, your inner reality creates your outer reality, as within, so without. So you can think of it like this. Forget the law of attraction. The law of attraction is like the machine in the background that just keeps everything going. It's the momentum. It's the momentum. And what is it doing? You are attracting what you are conscious of being. So if you're looking outside in your world and you're seeing something that doesn't resonate with you, and you can tell it doesn't resonate with the truth of who you are by how you feel about it. It doesn't feel, it feels limiting. It feels like, it's rooted in fear. It's rooted in scarcity. It's rooted in lack. It's the opposite of the truth of what you truly are, which is an infinite being having this human expression of an experience at the moment, along with so many other expressions in different dimensions. This is just one expression. One second. So, forget the law of attraction. It's always working. You don't need to sit there and try to manifest through affirmations. If you don't feel true about what you're even repeating and all that kind of stuff, then you're literally just reinforcing your fear-based consciousness, right? So forget the law of attraction. It's always going to be there. It's like gravity in the background, making everything like work. It's part of the machine. It's part of it's part of this reality and how it works energetically. Your focus should be on your inner world. And as you alchemize and purify the inner reality, you create space within your field, within your body, within your energetic body, your physical body, right? Like, when you release on a physical level, a mental level, energetic level, emotional level, when you purge, purify, alchemize fear-based consciousness, you're going up the scale of consciousness, right? So as you do that, you are creating spaciousness within your field, within your aura, within, your multi-dimensional being. And that space is now filled instantly with the vibrational set point that you're operating from. This is all rooted in energy and frequency. You are energy and frequency. So if you're going to focus on anything, focus on your inner reality, because until you feel abundant, you won't attract abundance. Until you feel worthy, you will continue to see in your external reality all of the things that tell you you're not worthy. And you will have the perfect sacred mirror show up and reflect this back to you. You will have all of the triggers show up and reflect this back to you. And it's all a reflection of what you are conscious of being inwardly. So as you purify, purge, and alchemize the denser for frequencies, it creates spaciousness within your field and energetic body and even your physical body, emotional body, and all the things. But you create more spaciousness. You become lighter. You become more open. You become more of a channel of higher frequency, which you already are, but that you have less denser frequencies now bogging you down. So it's kind of like, I've used this analogy before. It's kind of like one of those like hot air balloons. Your frequency is naturally high, but you have all these like sandbags tied to you right now, and you need to cut the sandbags. And as you do, your frequency naturally rises. And as your frequency naturally rises, the law of attraction is calling in based on your new set point, right? So you rise through purifying, through focusing on your inner reality, not the external world of form. Stop giving your power away to the external world of form, trying to fix and figure all that shit out, because all it is a reflection of your inner reality. And it's going to leave you looping like a crazy person in a hamster wheel chasing, I'm using so many metaphors at once. I was going to say a hamster wheel chasing your own tail. But that's kind of what it feels like when you're stuck in that loop. And it's because you're doing everything backwards. And it's when you step onto this ascension journey, everything is backwards from what you were conditioned to believe to be true. It's not about manipulating the external world. You've already been there, done that for decades, and you are here now because you are on your ascension timeline. Everything gets flipped. Everything gets flipped on this journey. 180-degree turn. Everything is backwards. You create and manifest through being, not doing. Through being, not doing. This is exact opposite of what you have been programmed to believe to be true about the nature of reality and the nature of your existence. It's backwards from what you've been trained and conditioned. And from what 90 whatever percent, 95% of the world operates from. They look into the world of form and call it true. And it is so malleable. It is so pliable. It is like Play-Doh that you get to finesse with your consciousness. Your consciousness shifts what you are focused on. They even in science, this is called the observer effect, I believe, where consciousness on matter changes matter. Right? Like, duh. Like you already know this, but now you need to live this. You need to embody this. You need to take the level of awareness that you have at the moment and bring all of your focus back to you because the world is a mirror. So stop looking outside and thinking that you need to fix the outside because in the truth, the ultimate paradox is there is no outside out there. It's all one and you are that and everything is playing within that field. So I know this is taking it to another level for some where your mind might start going, what the fuck is she talking about? And don't worry about it. It's not meant for the mind to figure out. The mind won't understand this. This is a direct experience of presence, a direct experience of your divine nature that I just pointed to. And when you abide in this, you are not this separate sense of self that's being ping-ponged back and forth between duality, which is what the mind is rooted in. The mind is rooted in duality. This is the journey from egoic mind into heart-centered consciousness, aka separation consciousness, aka duality, into unity consciousness, aka oneness consciousness, aka no separation. You are it. You are one with all of it. And from this place where you, and it's not a place, but I'm just using words, there is nowhere to get. There is nowhere to go. There is no past. There is no future. There is no you. There's just this. And only as you get sucked into the dualistic mind and the identity that you've been clinging to this whole time, which has been conditioned through all of your life experiences, do you start trying to figure everything out and worry and all the things again, right? Like, and the paradox is that when you release, and I don't know if release is the best word, maybe when it is seen through that the separate sense of self was always illusory, you're able to rest in this and things actually work out much easier. Not perfect, because life was never meant to be perfect. So but everything works out much easier and in the flow with your highest timeline because you don't have any more sandbags tying down your frequency and you will receive what you are an energetic match for. And not only that, that's just the law of attraction. This is like when you think of the law of one, you become one, you are one with all that is, and everything must flow to you in perfect divine order. This is this is how it works. And you don't have to figure out why or how this works. It doesn't matter. You use electricity every day and you don't know how that works. You trust gravity and you don't know how that works. The life force intelligence that heals your body when you get a scrape or a cut or a bruise happens naturally. You don't know how any of that works. You don't know how any of this shit works, and neither does science, or it doesn't matter what what path you go down, whether it's religious, whether it's spiritual, whether it's science. Eventually, everybody hits a brick wall and you realize you don't know shit and everything is unknowable. It's a mystery at best. and you stop trying to figure it out and you just play in the moment and stop wasting your life away in all of your precious present moments, living from the mind, trying to fix and figure out all the things that you're not here to fix and figure out. You're here to get out of the way and allow infinite intelligence to drive the train, so to speak. You are on an ascension journey. You met your twin flame, you are on an ascension journey. You had a spiritual Kundalini awakening, you are on an ascension journey. You feel called to live your best life right now at this moment in time where you know reality is splitting for so many, and you're stepping into living your most abundant, most embodied, most magnetic, most authentic life rooted in truth. That is not an accident. You are here as a way shower. Consciousness is rising, and there is a split happening. And that's based on frequency and the level of consciousness that you are being that will create your heaven on earth. New earth is here now through your living transmission of your truth, of you being the one. You are the one. You are all of it. Having a physical human expression, just like the ocean, has a wave. But you are not the wave. You are the ocean. And simultaneously and paradoxically, you are the wave. But the wave is really the ocean. You are the ocean experiencing the wave. So it's time for you to stop getting sucked into the experience of the wave and thinking that you're only the wave with all of these problems and dramas and things to fix in your external world. The wave has lots of things going on out there, right? There's other waves to worry about. There's all this stuff happening. It's very tumultuous, but the ocean, the depth of the ocean is perfectly in alignment. This ocean of being, regardless of what's happening on the surface with the tumultuous waves and all the things, the ocean of being is this force, this life force, this grounded calmness, this spaciousness of which all of the waves and all of the weather and all of the life forms and everything can play within it, but the ocean is the ocean. And so there's nothing wrong if you're still identified specifically as the wave, but you are here on an ascension journey, or you would not be listening to this. And you will suffer as you identify with solely being the wave. And you can no longer afford to give reality lip service anymore. It's time to embody the truth of what you are. It's time to embody the truth that you know in the core of your being. You cannot give lip service. You cannot say you're here to devote to your calling and create a life that you love that's rooted in sovereignty, and then give your attention to the little mind that's hooking you into fear. You can no longer afford to look outside into the external world and try to figure it out from there. This is your inner reality that's creating the external world. So, how are you feeling right now? What are you tapped into right now? What are you focused on right now with your awareness? Where are you giving your attention to? Because all of this is frequency. All of this is power. Where are you giving it to? Are you shining your light, your magnifier on what you don't want? Are you shining it on what is possible? Are you shining it on things that you're grateful for? Or are you shining it on some fear or worry about something that hasn't even happened yet and will likely not even come into your experience unless you continue to focus on it? And then you can sure as shit bet that it will roll into your experience because you are the creator of your experience. And you are seeing this more and more rapid fire. You're not going to be able to deny that you are a powerful creator anymore. And whatever you're giving your focus to and your awareness to is what you are going to be creating within your world, within your reality. Part of the big message that wanted to come through right now is you cannot run from the present moment seeking things outside of yourself anymore, seeking external things outside of yourself to fix your human problems. You must surrender it all to the divine. And this doesn't mean your life's going to perfect. You signed up for the spice of life here, right? Obviously, variety is part of this. God has uh, a lot of variety, loves variety if you can't tell. So you're going to have variety, you're going to have experiences. Life is still going to life. But you are not here to suffer through this anymore. You are here as the powerful creator, as the divine creatrix. You have to call your power back to you, and you have to discern and decide in the moment what you are available for. You cannot serve two masters on this journey. You cannot say one thing and give the universe lip service and then go into giving all of your focused awareness and attention to things you do not want or things that you're afraid of manifesting in the future or whatever. You have to be willing to pull your power back, pull your awareness in. You have to be willing to focus on your inner reality first and foremost. You have to be willing to create spaciousness in your physical reality for doing the devotional work, creating spaciousness so you can slow down, creating spaciousness so you can go inward, creating spaciousness so you're not rushed and you're not in a hurry and things like that, racing through life, because that's just another sneaky way that the ego keeps you hooked into this hustle culture and this 3D reality. The Matrix is going to pull every last trick in the book to try to keep you hooked into the 3D reality. And you're not escaping 3D reality. You're still living here in the 3D reality. So, I mean, maybe it would be better to say, like, keep you hooked. Like, 3D consciousness is fear-based consciousness. It's going to do everything it can to keep you hooked into that matrix, that fear-based consciousness, this 3D reality that most people, that's all they know to exist is this 3D reality. And all of their power is given to the 3D reality, right? The world that they see outside of themselves. And then they try to fix and manipulate or control all of the external world in order for it to reflect something back to them that they can then make themselves feel lovable, good enough, worthy, successful, accepted, all the things. That's not the path that you're on. And you don't even want that path. That path is a trap. It's a never-ending hamster wheel of chasing and seeking your entire life away, never feeling fulfilled inwardly, always chasing and seeking outside of yourself for something or someone to save you or give you what you think, keyword think, that you need to fill a perceived void within yourself because you have not yet gone inward to be whole and complete from the inside out, which then magnetizes in optimal experiences, opportunities, partners, relationships, and all the things because it can't not. It can't not when you are operating at that frequency of love, of inner union. everything will flow to you as it is divinely timed and appointed to, and it will be when you are a frequency match for it. So you are flipping the script on how everyone else lives this 3D world, this earthly experience. You're flipping the script on this and you are coming from the inside out. And your old manifestation techniques and your old tricks that used to help you manifest and create for yourself no longer work because they were still rooted in the separate sense of self. They were still rooted in lack and scarcity, was still rooted in you trying to get something outside of yourself in order for you to fill that perceived void that you thought that you need. It was rooted in desire, egoic desire, meaning that out there is going to fix me. I need that person or that thing or that amount of money or that car or that living situation or whatever it is in order to fix me. And there's nothing wrong with wanting those things. It's very much part of being human. But the egoic desire is what you were operating from, which is why those old manifestation techniques don't even work anymore. You will attract all that is divinely designed and meant for you when you become a frequency match for it from the inside out, which means you are whole and complete within yourself. You don't need anything outside of yourself to validate you anymore. And the paradox is when you don't need it, that's when it flows to you easily and effortlessly because you are a magnetic match for it. And so what happens is you transcend the egoic desires of reaching and seeking validation and approval outside of yourself. And what bubbles up after all of that dissolves away and you surrender the personal will to the divine and all of your earthly needs to the divine and you all of your human needs, all of it gets surrendered to you being supported by God, the divine. You are one with all that is. Everything has always been flowing to you from the one. And you may have thought it's been flowing to you through an employer or through a friend or through a lover or through this or that. No, everything has been flowing to you through the one. But you are on an ascension journey, so you're no longer going to be driven by those egoic desires, and you won't be able to manipulate with those egoic desires anymore that are basically rooted in lack and fear and scarcity. Instead, what rises is divine will, divine will, where you are not driving the train based off of personal egoic desires. What rises is your soul core desires, I call it your soul core desires that naturally just want to be expressed through you, like being free to share your truth and having loving experiences and being authentic and free, rooted in truth and authenticity, abundant, because that is your true nature. So your soul core desires naturally rise because that is who you are. You are love. You are abundance. You are prosperity. You are those things at your core. Lack and separation and scarcity is the illusion. So your soul core desires just begin to bubble up from the inside out. So the ego will try to tell you, but if I surrender everything and if I try to just drop everything, first of all, you can't. You can't do that. Surrendering isn't something that you do or something that you try to do. Go ahead and try to do it. You probably already have, and you know that surrendering is not something that you try to do. But the ego through this process comes in and says, but if I stop trying to control or manipulate things or at least do things to figure things out or whatnot, then all of my world's going to flow to shit, right? Like everything, nothing's going to materialize. How is that working out for you right now? Check in, because that is a lie of the ego. It doesn't even make any sense that the small egoic mind, rooted in limitation, lack, and threat prevention, is going to be the best source for you to create an expansive, abundant, life filled with joy and prosperity, divinely aligned with your soul's dharma by following the egoic mind that's rooted in limitation, lack, and threat prevention. The infinite mind, God's mind, which you are that and you are one with, that is privy to your highest dharma and timeline, your highest contribution to humanity, and everything that is beyond what the mind could even perceive, that is in your highest and greatest good, is orchestrating things behind the scenes right now to align you with your highest dharma timeline and everything that your soul came here to experience. Your soul core desires are not accidents. They are part of your blueprint, part of your expression, part of why you incarnated here. And that's what bubbles up when you get out of the way and you just allow the infinite to run the show. So the mind will say, but I need to fix and figure all this shit out. And if I don't, then like stuff's going to hit the fan. It's only going to get worse. And the ironic thing is, the more you try to do that, the more things get worse. And this isn't to say action doesn't happen. You will be guided to take action. And you will follow those actions. Courageous action is required. You will be guided to take action. You will be guided to quit that job or take that job or create this or don't create that. You will be guided to say yes. You'll be guided to say no. You will be guided to those things as you stay present in the moment and trust in the infinite intelligence. You have more trust at this point. This is how you know if you're really I hate to use the word progressing, but there's different phases of this, right? When you begin to trust in the unseen more than the seen, when you begin to trust in the unseen world more than you do the 3D reality that you see with the naked eye, this is a clear sign that you are surrendering. It's naturally going to happen. Can you fight it? Can you have really stubborn egos? Sure, yes. And the more you fight it, the more resistance, and the more you will see things not working out because you're still trying to operate this, you're trying to get into this next level expression, which is 5D consciousness, right? It's like the whole system that you've been operating from this whole time. It's like a computer, you have one operating system and now there's a whole new operating system, and you're trying to get into the new operating system is it doesn't hold the programs that you used to operate from. So there's going to feel like you're stuck. It's going to feel like you just can't move. It's going to feel like you're frozen because you're not trying, but like your soul, like you're ascending. This is part of your ascension timeline, ascending into this new operating system. Let's call this 5D consciousness, new earth frequency. And you're still trying to take the old programs with you that used to work for you in the old operating system, right? Old ways of being, old ways of thinking, old ways of identifying, old ways of earning, old types of relationship dynamics, all of those things. Your things that just structures within the 3D world that used to support you, jobs, identities, all the old system, the old programming is not compatible with the new operating system that you are upgrading to, and you are getting an upgrade right now. Earth is getting an upgrade right now. And if you are listening to this, you are getting a major upgrade right now, especially at the time of this recording. So this is obviously timeless, but it's also very timely for those right after the summer solstice in 2025. The energy is picking up momentum. It's accelerating. There's a lot of light code activations. There's a lot turning on within you, within your DNA structure, within your cellular, like your codes are being turned on, and it's been divinely timed for this to happen. So things that have been dormant within you, wisdom, ancient knowings, your gifts, like so much is being turned on right now at this divinely anointed time for you to shift into your highest Dharma timeline, and you cannot take the old programs with you. Like I said, the operating system is not compatible. So keep it simple right now. Keep it simple. I know I shared a lot, but let's just break this down. Let's make this really simple right now. If you want to take this with you throughout into your day, where are you looking outside into the world and trying to fix and change things to reflect back to you something else that makes you feel better instead of going inward and focusing on your what you are conscious of being inward first. And this doesn't mean actions won't be taken. So recognize when the mind goes there, but yeah, but this is happening. Okay, you're still going to human and you're still going to take care of things that happen. Like if you blow a tire on the side of the road, you're gonna get your car towed, and then you're gonna figure out where the best place to tow it is and which one maybe fits into your budget better, and then you might call someone to come pick you up or whatever, right? Like life still happens. You're still gonna go get gas when your tank is empty. You're still gonna stop at the red light. Like you're still gonna pay your taxes or figure out, when your next dental cleaning is. Like you still, your human is still gonna human. So let your human human. Let your human human. But you are beyond that, and you need to be able to expand into that awareness. I know if you've listened to this, you have a level of awareness. You have cultivated a level of awareness that you are able to pull back, so to speak. Allow the human to human, allow the monkey mind to do the thing, allow whatever programming is popping up to see it, allow whatever conditioned knee-jerk responses are coming up to see it, see it with your awareness, allow whatever is bubbling up, whatever fear, whatever thought, to see it, not to buy into it. This is the difference. You don't identify with it. You're not buying into it. You're not letting it take you down a spiral hole of worry and anxiety. You see it, you breathe through it to recondition your nervous system because you've just met your edge. You've met your edge, whether it's like around finances or your job or relationship. In the moment that you meet something that is unfavorable, you breathe into it because you've just met your edge, and this is reality reflecting back something, and you can now breathe through it with awareness, which is reconditioning your nervous system to respond differently so you can take back the control as a conscious being, a conscious divine being that has sovereignty over your energy and over your awareness, and you no longer allow yourself to get sucked into the rabbit hole anymore. Instead, you breathe. You become present with it. You recondition your nervous system with it. And then you take whatever guided actions come from that. They will not be actions that you have to ruminate on forever and try to figure out from the mind. They will be actions, sacred actions that naturally will arise, and you take them. And some of them will require courage because some of them will be getting you out of your comfort zone and having you say no to things that are no longer in alignment, or saying yes to things that are in alignment, or facing whatever lingering triggers that are still in your field and diffusing them with your awareness and taking action through them. This is not about sitting around being complacent or apathetic. So don't let the ego hook you into that. That, oh, I just sit here and be present and everything works out in the 3D. No, you will be guided. You'll know if you're doing that because you will still feel resistance. You will still feel the pinch. You will still feel trapped. You will still feel tight. You will still feel restricted. If you still feel tight and you still feel restricted by the ego latching onto Everybody says I just have to be and not do, so I'm just gonna sit here and you turn into this like couch potato that is refusing to take any action because even though actions are being, you're getting downloads and you're getting hits, but you're refusing to take any actions because the ego is being stubborn and coming in the back door, and yet you're still feeling pinched and restricted and constricted. This is this is time to go with the flow and take whatever actions come up. This is masculine energy. And this is about coming into union, not only with your feminine essence, which is allowing you to stay present and breathe and fully inhale, fully exhale, allowing you to tap into the presence of that which you are, so that whatever divine actions need to come through will come through. And then the masculine takes action on those. Sacred, courageous action. Yin yang. You have both. This is not dismissing or demonizing taking action when we say this is about being and not doing. Don't let the ego hook on to that and think that and then you fall into this spiral of complacency and apathy, because that is not life force energy. Life force energy is expansive. Life force energy is limitless potential and growth and expansion and death and rebirth and all of it. There's a difference between rest, nurturing yourself, taking a time out to breathe and reset, honoring your space, honoring your solitude or your alone time or your time with family or whatever, and honoring it, versus checking out and being complacent and apathetic and calling it, I'm just going to sit and be. I'm not going to take any action. That's just the ego coming in the back door. Life loves action. Life loves action. You are you are life in action. You are life in action. You are experiencing. You are the experience. You're here to experience. Like life is lifing through you. So it's just the ego that comes in the back door and tries to restrict that expression. Expansive growth is the name of the universe. It's expansive. So don't let yourself get hooked by that. When an action arises, you will know, you will naturally start to move in that direction. Move when you're moved. It's not about artificially manufacturing action from fear-based consciousness because you feel like if you don't go do something, you're going to either lose or miss the boat, or something's not going to work out for you, or you're not going to make money at this, or you're going to lose out on a relationship, like whatever the mind says, right? So know the difference, and this will only happen with through experience, but know the difference between sacred masculine action and devotion to what it is you say you desire, that is a soul core desire bubbling through you. There is sacred masculine action, which is courageous, required, and that is quite different than fear-based action that is compensating for some kind of perceived void that needs to be filled somehow. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. There's a difference. So the rise of the feminine is not about suppressing the masculine. It's about moving in harmony, unified within yourself, your own inner feminine and masculine. It's not here to suppress masculine energy. We're here to come into union with our feminine and masculine energy. And that also is union with the source of all that is and creation itself. the feminine represents the subtle, animating presence and life force energy, and the masculine represents the consciousness required to create this world of form, which is very tethered to the ego. And there's nothing wrong with ego either. We're not here to transcend the ego or demolish the ego. You will have it as long as you're having this 3D experience. It's part of how we create this 3D world through the union, through the sacred marriage of the inner and outer and the feminine and the masculine, which is one, which is two sides of the same coin. So, for a lot of women that I speak to, and I can say this, I've been talking to female spiritual entrepreneurs, light leaders, way showers, the the new earth paradigm leaders specifically since 2020, and with almost 99 to 100% certainty, I can say, including my own journey, that it's the sacred masculine energy that is lacking and needs to be integrated with the awakening woman that is on this divine feminine journey. Sacred masculine energy. There are a lot of energetic leaks because of weak boundaries that all are rooted in unworthiness, the core wound of unworthiness. And to begin to take your power back and awaken your feminine power, the first thing, this is part of my magnetic feminine method that I share inside Embody the Empress. So if you want to dive deeper with this, jump into my membership. You get weekly live calls as well. So it's an amazing value. Cancel anytime. I've removed all excuses that you can use that keep you from actually taking action on what you say you want to do, right? Which is treat your ascension journey like it is the ascension journey that it is and move into your highest timeline. If you want to do that, then I would highly recommend you invest your time, your energy, your focus, your money, and everything, all of your resources that you have into your ascension journey, into what is resonant and feels abundant, what feels self-nurturing, what feels self-honoring, and start to say no to everything that is not that. And this is part of your sacred masculine energy coming in. So real quick, I won't go into the full method because that's part of what I share inside Embody the Empress. But the first phase is being able to shine the light on the feminine shadow, which is still all of the places that you are hiding from yourself, hiding from your truth, lying to yourself, self-abandoning your own heart, your own needs, compromising your energy, compromising your values in any way, in any area of your life. There are no leaks in New Earth. You are not going to be able to abandon yourself in any way on this journey. And this is where the purification process comes in. So to circle back to the law of correspondence, and you purify and purge and create spaciousness in your field and in your body and in your energetic body and all the things, because you're multidimensional, your emotional body. Like, this is where then everything starts to magnetize in because your frequency is naturally going to rise, but it's a purification process that happens first. The alchemy, the inner alchemy has to happen first. And this is done by shining a light and on the feminine shadow so you can alchemize it. No longer be victim to it. No longer be caught in the story of it. You have to be able to, is this awakening your feminine power, shine a light on the feminine shadow and begin to alchemize that. And it helps to be in the presence of someone who can see it very clearly and be a sacred mirror back for you and also help call out blind spots. So if that resonates, then you might want to get into Embody the Empress. The next thing after that is, and that's not like it's like step by step, this quote unquote method that I share inside Embody the Empress, the magnetic feminine method, because they overlap. So it's not like you do one thing and you check it off, and then you do another thing, and then you check off the box, and then you do another thing and you check off the box. And then one day, 2 weeks from now, you'll wake up and you'll be like, surprise, I'm in my divine feminine energy. I'm a magnetic match to my highest desires. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's a journey. And each layer that gets peeled away. So, but it's not this never-ending healing journey. It's finally getting to the root of this so you can move into your highest timeline as a fully sovereign, free soul rooted in your wholeness and completeness because you are not wounded. So, this is not a never-ending healing journey. This is the end of the healing journey. This is the beginning of the end of the healing journey because you are finally going to alchemize all of the shit into gold, and it all gets used for good on your journey as you become a light leader and a way shower for others. But it's all purposeful, it's all divinely designed by you as part of your sacred blueprint here. So there's nothing going wrong, but this needs to be purified and alchemized within. Otherwise, you will keep chasing things outside of yourself and they will keep blowing up in your face as a result. And you will not be magnetizing in what is in alignment with your highest timeline, even though technically it kind of is your highest timeline because everything is here serving you. So it's not like you're off. But can you shorten cycles? Sure. Can you go through a few more cycles of the same lesson? Sure. Can you get to the core rock, or like, can you get to the core truth of you before hitting rock bottom? Sure. But if your soul is here determined to hit your rock bottom first so that you can experience rising up from that, that's going to happen too. Either way, it's all good. It doesn't stop that this needs to be, it doesn't dismiss that this is getting purified. That is what happens as the Kundalini energy is rising within you, which is what's happening if you're listening to this. So I don't know how I switched back to that, but I wanted to end it with like sacred masculine energy is after you alchemize this, you begin to alchemize the shadow. Oh yeah, this is where I left off. It's not like it's a, step one, step two, step three kind of thing. It starts to happen, you know, simultaneously. The sacred masculine energy, integrating that, meaning plugging all of the energetic leaks. Because prior to that, you're kind of like in a boat out in the ocean with holes in your boat, and you're sitting there with a pail and a bucket of water trying to get the water out. That's what you're doing essentially on this journey until you really do the inner alchemy that shifts you out of this never-ending healing journey and into your most abundant timeline as the divinely worthy being that you are. That is what is happening here if you claim it and you own it for yourself, moving into your sovereign energy. Wouldn't it be nice to live an existence where you don't have to constantly fix yourself anymore and you don't have to constantly feel broken or you don't have to constantly feel like you need to be healing all the time? So you're paling away, getting these buckets of water so you don't sink in this boat that has nothing but little holes in it. Some of those holes are so small you can't even see them. They're so under your conscious radar. They're so in your blind spot. That's AKA shadow. They're so in your shadow that you don't even see them. That's why it helps to work with someone that can shine a light on that and be a sacred mirror for you. And if you resonate with my videos, I take a very no BS approach. The containers are so fun, so potent, so life-changing. That's the number one thing most clients say is it's life-changing. But as you can tell, I'm very direct, right? We don't sugarcoat anything. We're just going to cut through the fluff and cut through the BS and like laser focus in on the truth, activate and expand the frequency, not only of the container, but all of those within it. That is the intention, and that is what's happened. That's what happens on these calls. So if you kind of vibe with like no fluff, no BS, you just want like a soul sister there that's going to like see you in your highest light and cut through the BS so you can no longer hide from yourself, your true self, then that's what I recommend inside any of my programs, really. But if you're just feeling like you want to dip your toe in Divine Femme and feel it out, then join the membership. But what was I saying? So yeah, obviously that is a very exhaustive place to be, is it not? When you're out in the ocean in the boat just paling away, when you have all of these leaks, doesn't it make a little bit more sense just to plug the leaks? This is one of my premium programs is called the Goddess Standard for this very reason. When you move into your full Goddess standard energy, full Goddess frequency, there are no leaks. You are not people pleasing. You are not selling yourself short. You are the vibe. You are the one. You are the frequency. You are the mother effing portal. You are it, and everything magnetizes from that. There are no energetic leaks. And essentially, that's what I'm doing in all my containers is helping you plug the energetic leaks so you can rise into your goddess frequency and magnetize the best life that your soul came here to experience. But the different containers have a little bit different not a little bit, but a different frequency. In order to get into some of those containers, you have to have a lower level of resistance within yourself to even make it into some of those containers. Embody the Empress is the one that is available to the masses and available for everyone on a month-to-month basis. But essentially, and plugging the energetic leaks is key. No more self-abandoning. No more giving your power away. No more compromising your values. No more seeking validation outside of yourself. No more binging twin flame videos, trying to figure out what's happening with divine masculine, because I know I'm calling someone out here and I'm not pointing any fingers. I'm not going to judge you for it. I was on that very what is the best word to describe it? Yeah, suffering. I was very much rooted in the suffering for a long time. Um yeah, so 2019 probably, yeah, it was a while, a long time. And probably made it harder than I needed to. And so, no more of any of that. No more dimming your light. No more giving the universe lip service. No more half-assed devotion to your calling, to what you came here to experience, to the life that you came to lead by example. There is no half-ass energy in devotion, and devotion is what is required of you. Devotion is one of my favorite words for this journey because it's not an obligation. It's not a, I need to do this. It's not a, I'm forced to do this. It's not a, I do this or else kind of energy. That's not why I'm recording this right now. It's a devotion to something deeper, bigger, larger than me. It's a response to the call. No more half-ass energy. No more mediocrity and painting that and calling it good. You're here to expand into your highest divine timeline. No more complacency. No more dimming your light or polishing your message in some way to make yourself more digestible or palatable for people that you are afraid might not get you or understand you. They won't. They're not meant to. You're not meant to be everybody's cup of tea. You're meant to be the authentic version of you, whatever that divine authentic version is, which your mind doesn't even understand. So don't try to figure it out. As soon as you try to figure out, what would be authentic? You're not being authentic. Authentic is just you, lifing, being you without the mask, without the self-consciousness that says, oh, but if I say this, but if I do that, but if I show up this way, but if I don't polish it or package it this way or blah, 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 what are people going to think? There's none of that narrative going on when you are just being fully authentic. There's a boldness to it. There is a vulnerability to it. There's a truth in it that people can feel, because whether they like you or not, they will respect you on an energetic level because they will feel something deeper when you are anchored in your truth. An awakened woman anchored in her truth is felt, is a force of nature, whether they like you or not. And none of that is any of your concern. Your message is not meant to fit in. You're not meant to fit in. And this isn't being rebellious for the sake of being rebellious. It's you breaking free from old systems and structures that were never designed to hold and support your mother effing magic and divine genius. You are here to create and be free in your authentic expression. And you have been conditioned and raised in a society that has taught you to dim your light at every turn in order to make yourself more acceptable, likable, digestible, and palatable, or in order to fulfill some kind of external form of success. And that doesn't work for you anymore because when you step onto the ascension journey, it is quickly realized that in all the ways you used to achieve success outside of yourself, there is still one thing that's missing, and it is this sense of inner fulfillment because you've been seeking things outside of yourself, and this is just the way it is. This is just the way we've been conditioned. But you were flipping the script on that. So there's no more room for you to hide, no more room for you to run, no more room for you to chase, no more room for you to self-abandon, no more room for you to lie to yourself or deny yourself the divinity that you are and the truth that wants to come through you. No more consuming instead of creating, no more, none of it. This is where the rubber hits the road for those that are going to be flying into the rest of 2025 and 26, like flying into their highest timeline. Like shit's going to change very fast for those that are fully in devotion to the reason that you came here. Your your own ascension journey and whatever is being called through you to create. That's really your only focus. Your only focus is your own ascension journey because until you can embody the truth of who you are not going to be as potent and activating as you could be for the masses, right? And so it's like your ascension, your own personal ascension, whether you step into a leadership role or not, which I know many of you are called to, but that may not be your path and it doesn't matter. When you are fully anchored in your truth, your authentic expression and embodied in your divinity, that is where you will make the highest contribution to humanity. That is when you will be able to hold the best sacred space for others. That is where you will be able to make the impact that you came here to make. This is when you'll be able to magnetize in the opportunities that you know are meant for you. So really, your path is kind of twofold if you're listening to this and you're resonating as a star seed, as a light leader in this incarnation, as a way shower, a mystic, a sage, a priestess. Like this isn't your first rodeo. You've been doing this for lifetimes. You have almost like a twofold mission. Your own ascension journey and living your best life by the light of your example for others to show what is possible when you choose love over fear. And that automatically then contributes to the collective in some way, in whatever way wants to channel through you. And that is what you are devoted to, living your best life, your ascension timeline, being the example that you came here to be. Your ascension timeline, your ascension is first and foremost the highest contribution and the most important thing. Everything else spirals from that. So when I talk about what you're being called to create, everything comes from your embodiment first. Everything comes from your embodiment first. Otherwise, you will walk a very uphill, it'll feel like a very uphill battle if it's not coming from embodiment first. And I've seen this play out over and over and over again with spiritual entrepreneurs that have a deep calling on their heart and they know they're meant for more and they know that they're here to make a big impact, but they're still giving from an empty cup. Uh, they're still have a ton of oops, they still have a ton of energetic leaks. They're not rooted in their sovereignty. They're not rooted in their worthiness. They're not open to receive, right? Like for so many of you that have a divine calling on your heart, that is not that is your truth. That is what's calling you forward. But it's your embodiment and your ascension journey that's going to catapult you into that first and foremost. And that's not saying you can't do both simultaneously, help others, be of service in some way while you're on your ascension timeline. But I see this as a trap for a lot of healers and light leaders where they are always giving from an empty cup. They are not rooted in their sovereignty. They are not rooted in their embodied in their divinity. They are not open to receive. They are over giving. They are under receiving and they are sick because they're very empathic. And as you know, you can absorb a lot of frequencies. And if you're constantly over giving and under receiving, you're not operating from a relaxed nervous system and your body's always in hyper, you know, stress mode and things like that. A lot of healers and light workers don't take care of themselves and don't put themselves first, and then they are not able to lead and expand into their highest timeline because they are not operating from divine overflow. You're here to operate from divine overflow, meaning your cup is so full of love from within for yourself that it just naturally and life itself and every sacred moment, every present moment that you hear that you experience here and now, instead of wasting them in the conceptual mind, you actually are here living them now. And then every it just overflows from within, and it's the natural byproduct of your expression. And it overflows into the people that you're here to serve or be a mirror for, or, blueprinted to help in some way through the illusion, right? As a way shower, that's what you signed up for. But you were never meant to lead from an empty cup. You're meant to lead from divine overflow. You're no longer going to be able to lead in that way moving forward. You're no longer going to be able to self-abandon as a healer, as a light leader, as a way shower, as a coach, anything that is here as a way shower. You are not going to be able to do it from a place of self-abandonment. You're not going to be able to do it with energetic leaks all through your boat, right? Trying to help people while you're paling your boat out, all the buckets of water that are filling up in your boat so you don't sink. That is not how life is meant to be for you. That is the mind buying into fear, lack, and scarcity, and it is an identity that is still rooted in the wounding. You have identified with the wounding on at some phase of the journey that says you're not good enough and you're not lovable and that receiving isn't safe or that uh, you don't get to do what you love and be paid for it, or you don't get to life doesn't get to be easy, or whatever the story is or money doesn't get to be easy, or whatever the story is, or that it's just not safe to be open and free, or it's not safe to share your truth or your magic with the world. And this is not even in this lifetime, this is in previous lifetimes as well, because you've had many lifetimes doing this kind of work where you have been silenced, you have been persecuted, you have been killed in previous lifetimes for sharing your truth, right? Any of the stuff that we're saying nowadays, we would have been like stoned to death or whatever, right? In previous lifetimes. So, and seen as bad or seen as evil for channeling and for all the things. So, this is it. This is the time. If you've landed here, this is an activation. I've been speaking to your soul, not your mind. And you may have felt that. You may resonate with it, and that's how you know it's meant for you. If you resonate. If you didn't resonate with this message, you would have jumped off of this video a long time ago. This is super long. My phone just went off. I'm not even sure how long this video is. But if you're still here with me, Why don't you just drop your favorite heart emoji? Well, let's make it specific. Let's make it a purple heart because I really want to know who made it all the way to the very end. Drop a purple heart. If you've made it here all the way to the end, and I think that's it for now. If you want to dive deeper with me, check out the membership or any of my other containers. I highly recommend Embody the Empress if this resonated with you. Oh, yeah, before I go, the Forbidden Feminine Sacred Temple is open. I gotta mention that again because the next training that's coming up, the next edition that I'm dropping there is Sacral Magnetism. Many of you have requested information on the sacral chakra. This is so potent for quantum manifestation and I'm not even going to share anything else about that right now, but right now, sacral magnetism, just know it's going to be the next edition dropped into the temple. And once you get in the temple, you have lifetime access. You don't get any live calls with me like you do in the membership. So they do work really well together if you're feeling called to both. But right now, the first edition inside the temple, which women are already getting amazing results from, is the Forbidden Feminine Black Cat Edition, which is an annual thing. So there will be another one next year. When you join the temple, you get instant access to the one that I just did a couple of weeks ago. You also get a ticket to the live event on March 13th, 2026, and you get access to every edition that I drop inside the temple from here on out. The next one's going to be Sacral Magnetism. Every time I drop a new edition, the price increases, the value increases, the price increases. So as soon as you buy in, you get lifetime access. If you have any questions, drop a comment wherever you're listening to this or DM me on Instagram at Spiritual CEO. That's the best place to get me a message. Until next time, namaste.